KL Publications presents Inxist, the alien truth at Minot Air Force Base. I know we're not alone. The biting winds of Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota never felt as cold as this night. Snow swirled in waves, casting shadows over the vast, quiet expanse of the base. Lieutenant David Keller stood beside the command center window, his breath fogging the glass as he stared out into the night. The base had been unusually quiet, and the sense of unease crawling up his spine told him something was amiss. 2 days ago, something had appeared on the radar, an object unidentified moving faster than any known aircraft. The high-ranking officials at the base had brushed it off as some sort of atmospheric anomaly, but Keller knew better. The hairs on the back of his neck hadn't stopped standing since then, and the strange feeling of being watched and gnawed at his thoughts. Something was out there. It wasn't long before the reports started coming in. A sighting near the fence, then another closer to the control tower. Strange lights had been spotted hovering low over the base, blinking in a rhythmic pattern that no one could decode. And then the inevitable, a landing. The base had been sealed. A select team, including Keller, had been tasked with responding to the event, armed with weapons they didn't believe would work. They advanced cautiously to the edge of the airstrip where the craft had landed, an object not of this world. The ship glistened despite the freezing temperatures. It was sleek, metallic, and completely silent. No noise, no vibration, just an eerie stillness as if time had stopped around it. Keller's heart pounded as they approached. That's when it happened. The air crackled with energy, and a figure appeared from the ship. Humanoid, yes, but far from human. The being radiated an outwardly light, tall and slender, its presence commanding and yet serene, its eyes glowing. Deep-set orbs met Keller's, and in that moment, Keller felt fear, doubt, and curiosity collide within him. The others had drawn their weapons, but Keller instinctively lowered his. There was something about the creature that didn't feel hostile. He wasn't sure why, but something in the air felt familiar. "I know you," Keller whispered, before realizing he had spoken aloud. The alien tilted his head slightly and stepped forward, hands raised as if to show it meant no harm. The energy between them intensified, and suddenly Keller was overwhelmed by thoughts that weren't his own. An understanding flooding his mind. The being communicated not with words, but with thoughts, clear, profound, and utterly mind-blowing. It began to share its message. The alien introduced itself as one of a race who had been watching Earth for millennia, shaping its destiny from the shadows, guiding humanity's evolution. Keller's mind racing with flashes of civilizations long forgotten, with scenes of towering ziggurats and ancient temples and strange beings descending from the skies. The being spoke not with superiority, but with a quiet reverence. It called itself a guide, not a master. "The thing you call God," the being said, "is not a being of flesh nor a ruler as you imagine. It is energy guided by thought. It is the true essence of everything. God is not outside of you. It is within you." Keller's breath hitched as the words settled deep in his bones. The being pointed to Keller's chest, a soft light emanating from his hand. "Inxist," it said. Keller blinked. "Inxist?" "To dwell within," the alien explained. "The essence of what you call God is in all of you. Every living being carries within them the same energy that shapes the universe. You are connected to it. It guides you. As you guide it, the energy responds to your thoughts, your intentions. That is the secret. That is the choice you have always had." Keller's mind struggled to comprehend. He had grown up in a world where God was a distant being, a figure of authority and fear. And now this being, this visitor from another world, was telling him that the divine was not something to reach for, but something he already had, something everyone has. The air shifted, and Keller felt the being presence dig deeper into his consciousness. He sensed the fear and doubt creeping in like dark clouds over his soul, as if it was true. If God was within every person, why had there been so much suffering, so much conflict? The being seemed to read his thoughts. You live in fear of your own power, your doubt, your essence. That is what has kept you from realizing the truth. But fear, like all things, can be overcome. Your kind has been shown the way many times, but you have chosen to ignore it. Now you have another chance. Keller looked around at his team. They were frozen, not in fear, but in awe. No one would dread speak. The weapons that had once felt so necessary now seemed ridiculous. We're not alone, Keller whispered to himself. We've never been alone. The being's glowing eyes softened. And you never will be. Keller felt a rush of energy course through him, as though he were being filled with the knowledge of the ages. The being continued to speak, though it wasn't speaking aloud. It was filling Keller's mind with truths, revelations about nature and the universe, about humanity's purpose. You were made in the image of the divine, it told him, not in form, but in essence. Every choice, every thought, every action sends ripples through the universe. You are part of the energy that shapes all existence. You must choose what you do with this power. Keller's mind flashed with scenes of conflict, of war, devastation. But then something shifted. The images changed to show unity, people working together, transcending their differences, coming together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. The fear and doubt melted away, replaced by a profound sense of affirmation. It was possible. Humanity could choose to harness its energy for good. The choice had always been theirs. We work together, Keller said, the words flowing from him as if they had always been there. We can change things. The alien nodded. Yes, the power lies in you, all of you, but you must first understand what you are. The craft began to hum softly, the air vibrating around them. The being stepped back toward the ship, but not before offering a final message. Remember, the energy you call God is in you. What you do with it is your choice. Inxist, dwell within. And with that, the being vanished into the craft, the ship lifting slightly into the night sky. The team stood in stunned silence, staring at the spot where it had disappeared from. The wind howled through the empty airstrip, but something was different. Keller didn't feel the cold anymore. Back at the base, Keller struggled to put into words what had happened. How could he? The others had seen it too, but no one knew what to say. They had been given a truth so profound it defied explanation. Over the next few days, the energy on the base shifted. Soldiers, technicians, officers, they all felt it. Something had changed in the air, in the way that they looked at one another. A unity had formed, subtle but undeniable, like the beginning of a long-forgotten melody coming back into tune. Keller knew the world outside the base wouldn't believe their story, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the choice they had been given, the power to create, to transform, to harness the energy that flowed through every living thing. They weren't alone, never had been, and now they had understood. Inxist, Keller whispered to himself, feeling the energy hum within him. We dwell within. And so the story of Minot Air Force Base became more than just a tale of UFO sightings, but it became a turning point, a quiet revolutionary moment where humanity was reminded of its true essence and the choices that lie ahead. The power was in them. It always had been. Now they just had to use it. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.